All right, we're back with the Black and Blue podcast. I'm here with Jared and Emmett. This is rolling as a middle-aged grappler.
Starting Jiu-Jitsu later in life.
Perfect. And yeah, so we have myself, a black belt, Emmett, my co-host, blue belt under me in Dark Horse, and Jared runs Mountain Mayhem Martial Arts out in Edgewater, and also a blue belt under me. If you'd like to introduce yourself there.
Yeah, sure. I'm Jared Babich, like Travis said, blue belt under him, under Dark Horse. I'm 47 years old. I live out in Edgewater, BC, and I end up working over in Canmore for most of the winters. So I get to come in here 3-4 times a week to train with everybody, and then head home on the weekends.
Yeah. And then we got Emmett.
Same as always.
Same as always, keeping us in line.
And I think, Jared, you and I think you started at Dark Horse, 3 months before me?
Yeah, around there.
Something like that, maybe a little less.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah, I'm 47 now. I started at 44.
Oh, okay, so maybe a little bit before. We wanted to kick things off by getting a little bit of history on you have other martial arts background too, right? Like you did a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, somewhat. I started kickboxing probably 23, up a little higher. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Just got to put my reading glasses on here.
The microphone is in front of you, Jared. I know that we said middle age, but damn.
Yeah, so I started, when I was younger, I messed around with Taekwondo a little bit and Judo, but didn't stick with any of that. And then around early 20s, I picked up kickboxing when we had a 2-time champ come into the Valley. And I did that for probably 15 years, along with some boxing. I did some tough man competitions, that sort of thing.
Nice.
And then, yeah, somewhere along the way, I kind of stopped and started working and driving a truck and running the excavator and got a little bit lazy. And then around the age of 44, I finally got convinced to give jiu-jitsu a shot.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been downhill ever since. Full speed ahead.
What kind of brought you into the fold? What convinced you?
My wife's cousin had, I guess he'd been participating in jiu-jitsu for about 2-3 years off and on before that. And he would always just tell me I should check it out or give it a shot, but I wasn't in any of that.
Where is he located?
He's near me.
Oh, yeah.
In Columbia Valley, yeah.
He's been into the club a few times, and he used to come more often.
Yeah.
I think he's fallen off the jiu-jitsu wagon a little bit.
Yeah, he's taking a break.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of little kids and that.
But he had a really good game. Actually,
Yeah.
really enjoyed rolling with him. But
Yeah, he's a son of a bitch to roll with.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the swearing here. If
Yeah.
that's acceptable.
We don't know.
We don't care. Have you not heard Emmett?
Don't.
I tell you.
Let her rip.
Yeah. So we're changing it to the Emmett show, and we're gonna just like
Emmett and friends. Friend number 2.
I feel like I'm never probably going to live that down.
Never.
So, okay,
Never.
got it. Got it.
It's just gonna be so we have Emmett and friends every episode, and we have to somehow like bring up Avon.
Oh,
Yeah,
there she is.
in
Yeah. I mean, might as well mention, right? She just did.
She was just down in AVA in Vancouver, did really well.
Nice.
I think she took bronze.
Nice.
Dude, her competition, like the people that she was in, they put her up like 2 weight classes. Like the girl that she was against was just a monster, like wrestled and like slammed her down really hard. She rolled in today. She's like, I am so sorry. I was like, yeah, I watched the video. That was brutal.
Oh man.
But the coolest thing ever, so a little segue, but she competes all the time, right? And she went down there just on her own. No coaches, no nothing. But another guy from Alberta here, Vince, he's come to the club. We train, we're friendly. Always see him at all the tournaments around here. He's
Vincent Chan.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's like 48 too. Like he's in like Masters 3 or something like that. And he's like, hey bud, I saw Avon registered and I don't know if you're going to be there, but if you're not going to be there, do you mind if like I step up to help coach her? I was like,
wow.
dude, that'd be awesome. Cause he's such
That's
a good
super
dude.
cool, man.
And I was like, thanks. And like they he's a great coach. He's a great guy. His jiu-jitsu's really good. So I was like super happy. So shout out to Vince. I don't know. I think that was just one of the coolest things. And
That's
I love
super
how
cool, yeah.
like he like contacted me. He's like, I don't want to be disrespectful. I was like, dude. He's like, no, I know you. I know. I just want to say it because
Yeah.
why not? I was like, yeah, fair enough.
Type
But
of
still,
guy he is. That's
yeah.
awesome.
That's really cool.
yeah, she did really good.
So you started at Dark Horse.
No, so I started actually in Invermere Jiu-Jitsu. It's about half an hour south from where I live.
Okay.
And I probably did about 5 or 6 months there, I guess, sort of off and on.
Okay.
And then some sort of mandates or something got brought in, and
You went on a mandate?
myself and some others were invited to maybe not train for a while. So I basically, I'd already fallen in love with it. And so I turned my garage into a gym. So we had about between 8 and 10 of us training in there off and on for a full year, basically.
Are the mandates not to be spoken of?
Well, whatever, some sort of scamdemic sort of thing, Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good to talk about it if you want.
Oh,
Otherwise,
man.
I'm happy to put it behind me.
I'm fucking slow, man. I'm just like, what do you mean a mandate? I don't know what that is. Okay.
We had one tonight. Matt?
Yeah, that was a nice mandate. I liked it. Enjoyed it.
I like that.
So Trav,
No, and then he showed up with us.
Yeah, then I was able to come here, check it out, and
mandate.
yeah, I've loved it ever since, man. It's been just a great place to be.
We beat the shit out of him when he came in. We're like, okay, cool. And like at that time, you were wrestling. Like you didn't have like that dial, right?
Yeah, no dial.
It was like
Just
110% go.
Yeah.
And I was like, and Danny was here. He beat the shit out of him.
Man, he's awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. But he is one.
44 rolling like 20.
Yeah. And then the one day you're like, man, I'm always so sore. I'm like, dude, it's because you go like 100% all the time. You're like, no, I think I go like 20. I'm like, why are you out of breath after one roll?
Yeah.
So
It's changed.
stepping into it, what was your I guess that would have been in Invermere. What was your first couple classes like? Anything you remember from like stepping onto the mat the first couple times?
Just really awkward.
Oh yeah.
Really awkward, really just foreign, but there was something to it,
Yeah.
There's just something there.
Yeah.
Had to see what it was about and just keep going.
Any like big surprises along the way that you were like that really was not what you expected out of a martial art?
Oh, the whole thing has been just a big pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Like I said it before, I boxed and kickboxed for better part of 15 to 17 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's lots of good people in that too, but it's just it's in a completely different makeup, a different environment.
Yeah.
100%. Like in the few years I've been doing jiu-jitsu, I've come across 2 people, I think, that were basically douches. And the rest have just been
We're right here.
awesome.
Yeah. We're at the same
Thanks.
table.
Yeah. What a coincidence.
Don't have to call us out like that. This is Emmett's podcast.
Dude. Yeah.
You came in around the same time Craig came in, actually.
Yep.
And he had a boxing background. So it was
Craig, yeah. He's
and it was really interesting
He
watching.
was super fun to roll with when I was just starting. And then actually my first tournament, me and him competed down in Lethbridge.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Of course I won.
Craig, you got to get training again so you can come back.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
But, yeah, I remember that because I think both of you came up and he was like, do we go? I was like, yeah, it's a tournament.
Yeah.
We don't shake hands and both jump on the podium. I beat the shit out of Carter. Like, I was like, no, we go. It's a tournament. We both signed up. It is what it is. And then we're friends afterwards. If you can't be friends after that, then there's something.
Yeah, you're in the wrong sport.
There's something wrong.
I did stand up for a while before the mandates.
You did, yeah.
With Craig, and he was like the best guy to work with because he's just 100% on everything.
Yeah,
and I'd pair with him. And we'd just be like bam, 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 bam,
like throwing haymakers on every single one. I actually remember that because Craig was like, you were getting tired, and he's like, no, let's go.
Yeah,
he
it was good.
Pushed you.
Yeah,
he pushed you hard.
Yeah,
It was,
he's a good guy.
Yeah, it was actually.
Yeah, he's good. can't think of a single bad roll with him. They were all good.
Oh,
not enough though.
I beat the shit out of him. I was like, oh, this is boring.
And I remember.
Now you got us.
No, I just beat the shit out of you. Hope they're listening.
So on the topic of like kind of being an older grappler, like I remember being like when I first came in, I saw you here and Adam was here too, and I was like, okay, cool. Like there's other guys who are in my general age range, like much older than me, obviously, but
Yeah.
you know,
Discuss that.
but no, that I mean, from the perspective of being there for your first day and what's this all about kind of thing, it was like, oh, okay, I'm not the only guy here who isn't wearing a black belt and is 40 plus, you know. That's a huge deal. That makes it a lot more comforting and a lot more approachable.
We also have a young crowd. Like,
Yeah.
in general, we have a young crowd. So I guess I'm going to segue. How does that feel? And I'm going to actually put it out to both of you. Like,
Mhm.
having younger people in and around possibly getting promoted
Mhm.
before you, and having like generally older people have that seniority, right?
Mhm.
But then
Well,
like,
I found if they move up quick through blue belt, they tend to quit right away.
that's fair.
Like one
Mhm.
one name in particular, I won't mention Reese's name, but maybe he'll come back.
Yeah.
There's a chessboard here. He'll be here eventually.
It's a beautiful chessboard. If you want to buy it, $150.
Very
I'm going to
nice.
plug my own
Very nice.
products.
you know, I had like a cop out answer ready for that, which I'll give you the cop out answer that I was going to give to that question because I knew it was going to come up. Was like, so you take like Charles, who I guess you'd call him a semi-pro on the way to pro fighter,
Yeah.
who trains out here and trains super hard all the time. He's super young, super strong, really good, and like just giving some context. My cop out answer was going to be like, I don't expect Charles to take me seriously as a opponent, but I do expect someone like that to like recognize when I'm putting in the work and recognize that like I'm not holding back and that I'm trying to learn, and that maybe there are more challenges at an older age, but I feel like they can respect that. But then that was my cop-out answer. And then I saw Jared.
That was a long-ass cop-out answer.
Yeah, well, that's what cop-outs take a long time because they're winding.
Yeah.
Right? But like,
We went down a few paths.
But then I saw this guy roll with Charles, giving him a complete run for his money tonight. And I was like, oh, yeah, my answer sounds kind of like a bitch cop-out. So
time to step it up.
yeah.
If that's the last roll with him for a while before his fight, then you got to give it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. He's going to be taking off out east there for a little bit, so I had to beat him up.
Did my best.
It looked good. It was a good roll.
But what do you think about that, Jared? Like the expecting the younger guys to just kind of like, does it matter to you if younger guys get promoted quicker or like?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know, it's something that you got to just kind of keep in mind.
Yeah.
People are all different levels. They advance faster,
Yeah.
slower. You know, everyone's game is different.
Yeah.
Everyone's trajectory or the course of how they're going to get there is different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've seen both sides. I've seen people with like that mentality where they're like, yeah, I mean, everyone has their own path. Everyone's going to be moving through this. And then I've seen other people who are like, I'm older. I should like get seniority. I should have this. And it's like, nothing's just going to be given to you, especially under me. I'm an asshole when it
Yeah.
comes to like belt promotions or even just a stripe. I expect you to show more. And I've had the discussion with both of you, like on like leveling up, and when do I like move up? I'm like, I want to see more. I want to see something. I don't want to see just coasting through. And some like older athletes that come in thinking like, oh, well, because I'm older,
Yeah.
I should get like promoted due to seniority. And it's like, no.
Like actual seniority. Like I'm
Yeah,
closer
man.
to being a senior.
Yeah.
I think it's just I have less time to live, so I probably need it faster.
Yeah. Please give me the
Working,
next belt.
like, pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, please give me the next belt. I'm going to die very, very soon.
I don't know. I think if I seen someone come in, same age, same physical build as me and
Mhm.
that, and they just moved right ahead, then I'd really wonder if I was missing something or not putting it together the same. But I don't know. At the beginning, I think I really sort of just jumped in with both feet and wanted to move up as fast as I could, and figured that that's showing that I'm learning and improving. And then slowly figure out that, you're going to have plateaus. You're going to have really down times where you're just not picking it up and you're wondering why the hell you're even doing it.
Yeah.
And then it goes back up, peaks and valleys.
Yeah. And Travis mentioned you run your own gym. How has that affected your learning? Like that, does that add a whole other dimension to your own learning and your own desire to stay at it?
I think it will. I think it probably has, but I think it will further down the road. Yeah. So I started up a club in a little town where I live, Edgewater, a year ago. Actually, last weekend was the 1 year anniversary to our open mat.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool, really man.
Good. And in the year, it's been good. It's been up and down, slow. Like I'm in a town of, I think, maybe 500 people.
Yeah. So
it's been really good with the kids. I usually have about anywhere from 10 to 12 kids regularly. And then adults, we cycle through probably 6, 7, kind of regular, off and on, depending on shift work and what we're doing.
That's really cool.
But I've found, if anything, it's helped me kind of just to slow down and think about the game more rather than just focus on myself and working ahead.
Yeah.
Right. There's a bit of I'm not really sure how to put it, but it's a bit of a game you have to play with yourself, like opening up a club and starting a jiu-jitsu club after seeing how clubs are run well. And, you see ones that are run well and ones that are run, not something that you particularly buy into. And so it feels like there's a lot of pressure to really do my very best. Like I get anxious every class an hour before, 2 hours before. And like, I'll talk to my wife and be like, hey, I need to go down there early. I need to get my mind straight and just focus on it. Yeah. Because I find I just really don't want anyone to have a bad time or to not learn something or not take away a good experience, whether they learn or not. Yeah. As a blue belt, my techniques are limited. Right. So what I can teach is what it is.
You must be like, I don't want to dive too much into it, but like, I guess you must be kind of a serial high achiever, right? Like you own a company, you started a jiu-jitsu gym as a blue belt, like you're a serial perfectionist / high achiever.
You're being very generous there.
No, that's the perception I get. I don't know about Travis.
I'd say my jiu-jitsu reflects that as well.
Yeah.
Mediocre?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
At best. Middle of the road, I like to say.
It's like middle age, middle of the road, mediocre. Damn, we're getting old.
Triple M.
It's taken a while to get to the point where you really understand that you need to focus on things. Yeah. You want to do them well, you have to put everything you have into it.
Yeah.
And I've skated through a lot of life half-assing it.
Yeah.
Just relying on my knowledge of what I do.
Yeah.
I'm a carpenter by trade. I've been a Red Seal carpenter for 25 years, I guess. So with doing that, I'm really good at that. I'm good at my job there.
Yeah.
So then you kind of get comfortable.
Yeah.
And then you find something like jiu-jitsu where you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
In any way whatsoever. So then you really have to focus. You really have to push.
Yeah.
And you really can't slack at all. I'm sure you can, but that's not what I'm about. I don't want to have that.
Trust me, you can.
Yeah.
I think that it's like one of those things, and I bring it up quite often. It's just putting in the work, right?
Yeah.
If you put in the work, you tend to get the results, right? You tend to get you whatever work you put in.
Yeah.
That's the results that are going to come back to you.
Yeah.
If you're half-assing it, if you're coming in and you're just like if you're coaching and you're just like, well, I guess we'll do this today, and like you give it like 10% of your energy, you're getting 10% back, and you're not going to do shit.
Yeah.
And I see that you're putting in a lot of work, like especially with your club. Like it's cool to see like the kids program growing and stuff like that, especially in a small town.
Yeah.
Like I call Canmore a small town, but like it's between, like depends on the season, but it's between like what 10 to 15,000 depending on high and lows. That's a lot more people to pull from. And then like
more.
Yeah, you have Calgary where it's like millions, but like 500 people and you're running a good kids program. 12 kids is nothing to
Yeah.
like shake your head at, and it shows that you're putting in dedication work. I'm not one of those guys that like will put like my seal of approval on anything if I don't see that you want to put in the work. And when you were going for your blue belt, I was like, damn, like you were going hard and you were learning and questions and like everything was just coming together, and you were it showed that you were putting in the work when you were doing it. I was like, yeah, I'll definitely have this guy as a blue belt under me. I'll help him out whenever I can. I'll help out the club whenever, like, whatever I could do. I don't know how much I can do, but
yeah, both you and Carter have been super supportive, 100% right from the start. I approached you guys before anyone else, you know, just saying that this was an idea I had. And what do you think? Right?
Yeah, and it was awesome. I was like, yeah, you put in a ton of work, and I think that you were talking about it as like still a white belt. Were you? Not? Yeah, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. But I want you to get that blue belt. I want to see you put in that work.
No one wants to start a club as a white belt, right?
Yeah, no one.
That'd be stupid.
Loony.
Horrible idea.
Who would do that?
I'm literally getting a hoodie that says "Too dumb to quit."
Yeah,
because
3 of them, please.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's just like something that I've said. I was like, I was just too dumb to quit doing this. Like every sign said, "Don't do it."
Yeah,
like lots of people in the community. Like there's so many people saying, "Don't do it."
Really?
Oh yeah, because I was just a white belt, and they're like, "No, it's you have zero prestige, you have zero knowledge, you don't do this, you don't start it unless like maybe brown belt, but you should have your black." I was like, well, too bad.
Yeah,
doing it.
Yeah,
and then just didn't quit.
What was your motivation, do you think, when you started it? Like, just the most leading motivation, kind of.
I had two. One, I didn't want to quit doing jiu-jitsu, and two, when people started saying that I can't do it, I was like, fuck you.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And like that's one of the biggest like motivators for me. If someone says I can't do something, man, do I ever put a ton of energy. Like in the club, in like mechanics, in every aspect. If someone tells me that I can't do it, I put so like, and if it's something that like my brain goes, I definitely can.
Yeah.
I put everything. Like our YouTube channel I was told like, oh, it's like you should have done it like 8 years ago. Like you should have started then.
People love saying that kind of shit.
Yeah.
People just love being haters, man. You know, because they're like, oh yeah, this like that's a comments on the internet. It's like,
crabs in the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Help the crab out, pull him back down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're happy in the bottom of the bucket. Let's pull anyone down that tries to get out.
Yeah.
But man, I love it. I love when people say I can't do it.
Well, I don't think there's any way that you'll ever turn me into a purple belt.
No? I guess. You know how I said
everyone has their limits.
Walks out and grabs a belt. Oh, I'll show you.
Yeah. Beat him with it and be like, now it's the black, blue, and purple build.
What do you think? Do you think, like, you know, speaking of being too dumb to quit, but and sort of being a high achiever, and we were talking about that a little bit the other night about how, so like Adam's here, he owns Camor Passico. You have your construction company, and like we have a couple older guys that are like police officers, things like that. I feel like I wonder if people who start a little bit older are already used to hard work. They know what it takes to succeed. I wonder if the like retention rate is higher for people who start older. I don't know. What do you think, Trav? In
this day and age, probably.
Yeah.
There's a lot of younger people that it's kind of given to them. Like grades are given to them. You can't fail. You can't do. Like, you can't be kicked out of school. Really. Like there's a lot of stuff that's just given to you. I had to work my ass off just to get into like college. I had to work my ass off to get my like mechanics and all this other stuff. Nothing ever fell into my lap.
Yeah.
And I'm 38.
Yeah.
So then you get people that are like way older.
Way older. Yeah.
Way, no. But realistically it's like, yeah, because there's a lot of people that had pre-internet job, like pre-internet lives, and had to work towards stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I mean pre-internet, like you're not getting social media stars, right?
Yeah.
You're not getting that weird mentality of social media where you can actually make money off of it.
Yeah.
You're getting people that had to bust their ass doing something.
Yeah. And like, and even to be at that age where it's like, okay, yeah, I got a mortgage, I got kids, I got a legit job, you know, I got shit on the go. Like, I'm not about to come in and just sort of like mess around or be like, well, yeah, I'm going to throw 6 months of effort into this just to flush it down the toilet. You know, it's like, and plus when you come to jiu-jitsu, you don't have to put the kids to bed. So
that's why we started the Emmett podcast, right?
That's right.
Try to put some of the younger ones to sleep here, but it doesn't always work.
Dude, some of the younger ones here are just vicious killers.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, like it's like pretty cool that someone with like somewhere near the top of their career, kids, family, house, mortgage, and all this goes, you know what? I'm also going to put this on because jiu-jitsu, it takes a lot of time. If you actually like want to respect what you're doing and respect yourself and get better at jiu-jitsu, it does take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I mean, shout out to everyone's significant other that's like, I mean, I'm okay with, like, I'm almost always here. And my wife is like, dude, I'm like, I'm building something. She's like, and she understands it.
Yeah.
But like, shout out to them for allowing it to happen.
No doubt, man. I'm here all week for work, right? Work away, stay here all week. Friday I get home and the first thing I got to do is head off to class.
Oh man,
Home for an hour. Hey, love you. Hope everything's good. I'll be back at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, that dedication that you see though is something that I don't know. You see it in jiu-jitsu because it sparks in jiu-jitsu. And there's a lot of stuff that we can like go, oh man, life sucks about this. Life sucks about that. You get into the mats and that's gone. And that relief makes you go, oh, I like this. And this takes away from that horrible mess of like life.
What other mess? There is no other mess. You step in here, everything disappears.
Yeah. It has to.
Step on the mat. Oh yeah, it goes away. It has to.
Else you're just gonna
magic
get choked out. And sometimes it doesn't. And that's when you have your absolute worst rolls.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Preoccupied, your mind's not there. You can't just relax.
Sucks.
And I mean, like the significant other is like, I know in my case, you know, I was going through some crazy shit when I started here, which is maybe a story I'll get into some other day. I had a neighbor war going on.
Scrap stories,
dude,
Emmett style.
It was a goddamn horror show. And like, I came here and it was like, it kind of just, I was like, okay, now I got something I can put my energy into other than wanting to burn my neighbor's house down, you know? And it was like, my wife was like, okay, he's not here 2, 3, 4 times a week, but the volume is turned down on the psycho-ness, you know?
Does like everyone get like the whole, if you don't do jiu-jitsu, you're like the most irritable prick ever.
Yeah.
Like if I'm off the mats for like 2 days, my wife is just like,
you need to go.
Oh,
yeah.
Like she loves that I'm home, but she's just like, okay, you're irritating me. Yeah. Like maybe not 2 days, like up to a week. And she's like, you got it. Like she tells me like you got to go do something.
Yeah. Come back in 3 hours.
What are you doing that annoys her? I want to know that.
Oh man, I think my like
breathing.
Anything. I just sit there and I just like start to bounce and just like tap my knee and I start to make noise. Like I just have a gratuitous amount of energy if I don't get it. It's just like I'm just like bouncing and then like I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I just have like this crazy amount of energy if I don't get it.
Picture Tigger.
Yeah. Just bouncing.
It's kind of like that. I'm just like, and like, I can play a video game and
Yeah.
like that shuts me up for a little bit. And
Yeah.
then I get bored of it. I'm just like, okay, look around and like I mess up with the cats. I'm just like, oh, and even the cats are like, dude,
Please leave.
Yeah.
I just picture you now, especially now that we got the podcast gear, just like we're working on your recording career at home, just like, belting out the tunes. Like, no, man.
Not at home here because
Yeah.
my wife's like, dude,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
sing. Get out of here.
I was gonna start singing something, and I was like, no, this is on the podcast. That would have.
I'd like to hear it.
No.
Nickelback.
Maybe not. Maybe it'd be an improvement.
You know that Nickelback is now considered dad rock?
Oh, really?
Yeah. There you go.
I don't think so.
That's for you too.
Um,
Look at this photograph.
like we don't know each other super well, but fairly well from the gym here. Like, I feel like you've mellowed out in the couple years that I've known you. How do you think jiu-jitsu has changed your outlook?
Oh, it's changed 100% from what I was before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Through the training, through the suffering, through, wins, losses, just having to work, crying, puking
Yeah.
in
man.
the bucket.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
the only one that actually worked hard enough to need a bucket.
I'm actually gonna post
Just
that
saying.
picture for you guys. It'll be on the YouTube post, and I'll show you the beautiful Jared looking pretty damn pale.
You work that hard, that's going to happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's helped in so many ways. I can't think of all of them, but every aspect of life has been improved
Yeah.
through jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Every single avenue.
You also, I think you do quite a bit of training too, right? Like weights and running and stuff like that.
It's off and on.
Off and on.
I do a lot of body weight exercises, just pretty consistent with that. I run every now and then, but I just, it depends on the season.
Yeah.
It depends what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Get up at 5 a.m. I don't really want to get up at 4 to go for a run.
Oh man, no, I would never do that. That would never happen.
No, but I make time for body weight exercises in the morning if I don't get it done. If I'm training during the day, then I know I can go a little easier because I'll put it out on the mats here. But if I'm not on the mats, then I got to do something. I have to hold myself to it.
Yeah.
And in the last, few years of doing this, I've definitely turned that around from what I was before. I trained a lot when I was younger and trained really hard as I possibly could, which I'm glad I didn't find jiu-jitsu when I was younger because I'm a crippled mess now.
This guy.
Like someone else I know.
Man, I know that I've been making fun of like age and the elderly, but I'm probably the most crippled out of the three of them.
Yeah, if you look at an actual scale of a quality of life and where we're at, me and him are like 20.
Yeah.
We're about 50.
Yeah.
With movement and pain.
I'm hobbling around with like a busted foot.
Put the bones back in place. Keep going.
Yeah.
I believe today you told me right away the first thing you weren't rolling.
What?
Because you had a brace on your foot and the doctor told you that you absolutely cannot.
Man, I hope Lindsay and my wife don't listen to this.
Right away, you may or may not have jumped right on Charles just to give it to him before he left.
This is last day. Someone had to beat him up. I mean, you did a good job. And then I was like, he looks like he's breathing okay. I had to beat him a little bit. And I mean, he's not going to sub me. I'm not even going to let him get near those legs. So what's going to happen? What's the worst?
Exactly.
So do you feel like burnout is a thing? Like so you're working out, you're running your company, you got your kids, all this stuff. Is burnout a factor?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found that I have to pace myself a little bit better.
Yeah.
Which is a really hard understanding to come to. You're getting older.
Yeah.
You can't train as hard.
Yeah.
Then when you try to, you suffer for it later.
Yeah.
Definite burnout, and then that just transfers into your job and your mental state.
Yeah.
Get down on yourself because you can't do what you used to be able to do, right? It's I don't know, it's hard to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I think by the time, another few years goes by, I should have that a little bit better grasp, right?
What's your long-term jiu-jitsu goals look like?
I do it till I can't.
Till you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Run it till the wheels fall off.
As far as,
Well, that's my goal. I'm going to compete
run
forever.
it in the rims, man.
Dude, that's
Get out and push the motherfucker after
that's
that.
a good shirt. Like a car with the wheels coming off. Like just run it till the wheels come off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
got
awesome.
guy driving down the road and he's only on 3 wheels and the other one's just burning up.
Just like on
Yeah,
fire.
I'm not letting the pedal up.
Yeah. Okay. Blue belt blues. Feeling that ever?
I think it kind of comes and goes.
Yeah.
But sometimes I find myself in a hurry to try to get purple. What do I need to do? What do I got to,
Yeah.
how hard do I have to work? Am I ever going to be able to get there?
Yeah.
But to be honest, thinking about it the last little bit, when the day comes, the day will come. When it does come, I think I'll regret that I'm there instead of blue. You know, I'll wish that maybe I just stayed at blue for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Right?
You think so?
Yeah, I think I'll have to kind of fight with that.
I think that's a common imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like, I think that's every belt. Like myself, when I got promoted to black, everyone's like, oh, you need to be black. You need to have it. I'm like, I don't care. Then when I got my black belt, I was like, damn, now I have to compete at black.
Oh yeah.
And like I was a brown belt competing at black belt, and I was like, zero pressure. Because it doesn't matter if I lose. I lost a
I
black
could
belt.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm a black belt competing against, and black belt doesn't have like, oh, you've only been a black belt 1 year,
Yeah,
1
yeah.
month,
Yeah.
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
And like I stepped into it, I was like, damn. And I compete against black belts that I was like looking at as a blue belt that were black belts. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
whoa, this is insane. And like it's that imposter syndrome, I think. And I would assume that blue to purple is one of those ones that's the most major imposter syndrome when you get your purple.
Blue to purple, yeah.
And that's just my own personal like view that I've seen around where people are like, am I a purple belt? Should I be a purple belt? It's like,
Yeah.
well, you are. But
Yeah.
I see that quite a bit.
It's kind of a big step because it's basically like halfway through your journey.
You haven't
sort of,
quit
right?
yet.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. You haven't done the blue belt quit.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
guess I'm in it.
Yes, that's not happening. No.
Yeah.
I don't see many purple belts quit. Like they kind of sometimes they like taper off their training quite a bit, and they
Yeah.
might not reach higher up. But I mean, you don't see that many purple belts quit. You see blue belts quit, white belts quit.
Yeah.
You don't see too many purple belts.
I can't-
Like once you get there, you're just like, damn.
I can't quit now because we got a podcast.
Yeah.
I would be like, what happened to the other guy? Yeah.
What happened to the
It should stay black and
Emmett
blue,
move?
though, right?
Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
and purple sounds stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
So it's kind of like a bruise, right?
Yeah.
We're just going the opposite way of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Black and purple almost sounds
And
kind
it
of
could
dirty.
be
I don't know.
The purple belt and friends.
Yeah.
I'm a purple belt now, bitches.
What's that called? Emmett's Purple Belt Variety Hour?
Emmett's just never going to be a purple belt. I think that's just if this
Yeah.
podcast takes off, Emmett just never gets his purple.
I mean, I don't feel close at the moment, so
15
yeah,
blue belt.
I think it's okay. Oh man, it's hard. Hey, like just nights when you're just like, I don't fucking know how to do anything, and then sometimes you have a little breakthrough, and you're like, okay, no, I know how to do something.
Ooh, now I know how
Yeah.
to do this. I'm going to do this next class.
I'm gonna keep doing this.
Totally
over and
fall
over
apart.
again.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do. Yeah, side control. Eventually, I'm going to have to mix it up.
Side control Kimura. Side
Yeah.
control Kimura.
That's what
Head
like,
arm.
I think I need I've been doing Monday Wednesdays, which is our I don't know what's the name of that
All
class.
levels.
All levels class. I think like I used to mix it up more, going to the Tuesday and the Thursday, and like especially Tuesday really mixes. It throws a wrench in things and just makes you work super hard, and some higher level people. I think like that's a good strategy, mixing it up from time to time.
Oh yeah, you can't get too comfortable.
Yeah.
Get too
Brings you
comfortable.
back down to realizing you don't know shit.
Yeah.
And like you get like guys like Jake on Tuesdays. Jake's a monster. Like,
Yeah.
he's really good.
Yeah.
Like the guys that show up to that, they show up to work, they show up to train.
Yeah.
It's a good class.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you show up and then Ben walks in the door, you know you're in for it.
Oh man, I
Last
love
time he was there,
rolling.
we were trying to do single leg takedowns, and I was basically just running into a tree.
Yeah, easy.
And 4, 5, 6 times I was just like, no, I can't do this.
There's a reason why his name is Big Ben.
That's
Easy.
something else, man.
I love it. He's probably my favorite guy to do stand up with because he's about the size and weight of all my opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Vastly bigger than me. and his wrestling's good,
Mhm.
and he's just built like a brick shithouse. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm running
That's great,
into this
though. He's
guy.
got good control too, right? You
Yeah.
know, like you go against some big guys like that, and you're worried.
Oh, no, he's when he first started, I was like, oh man, this guy, like he would go pretty hard, but that's because he came from a club that went hard,
Mhm.
right? And then he kind of went, oh, you can actually have a dial.
Yeah.
He toned it down a bit, but like when he wants to go, he can go.
I think you have lots of guys here like that can really turn it up when they want.
Yeah.
But anytime is a good safe roll if you want it to be, right? Like you can go as hard as you want and then just have fun too.
I'd way rather go against someone who's experienced and goes super hard than someone who's going super hard and is 225 pounds and just started. Then you're just like, oh man, this guy's gonna fall on my wrist or something, or like,
I watch those. I don't participate.
yeah,
brand new big guys are probably the leading cause of injury.
yeah,
For sure.
Because they just go and you're just like, they don't know any moves, they don't know any better, they don't know how to control, and like it's perfectly fine. Like, I mean,
Totally.
get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the sport, everyone
Totally.
has to learn at a certain pace, but they're probably the leading cause of injuries.
There's a guy in Invermere. He's a good dude. I won't call him out or anything, but when he started, like he's big and he's thick and he's just full energy all the time. And he would just crush people, ribs over and over and over. And so I got to the point where if I would go to Invermere and he was there, I just wouldn't go. Like I would go, but I wouldn't roll.
yeah.
And so maybe a few months ago, I got in there for a class and rolled with him, and it was just great.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
He's figured out, right? Like just to turn it down a little bit, turn it
Nice.
up when you need. But it was a great roll. I was nervous, but it was awesome.
That it's amazing to see that little switch, and it's cool that you had like that time period in between.
Yeah.
To be able to be like, oh,
Mhm.
Yeah, like when we first started in my garage, like a long time ago, he came and it was great. But it's just like too much for me, right?
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool to see it from in others. You can see the progress. It's so hard to see the progress in yourself. And it makes it, because we have belts, and you've done a few tournaments and done, I think, pretty well, right?
I did 5 tournaments as a white belt. I've yet to compete in blue.
Yeah. But
I
like,
did not too bad. A couple golds,
Yeah.
silver.
that's fantastic. And like that's 2 ways we can kind of measure progress. But I think like, especially when you get into that, like, okay, well, who knows, maybe 4 years till I get my purple belt. Who knows beyond that? Like, what are some ways that you measure progress?
That's funny. I was just thinking about that today and yesterday, actually. I definitely have the need to compete at blue belt. And
Yeah.
I think that's why, just to see where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because coming here, going to different clubs, it's just not, it's not 100%. Like it's not kill or be killed, like in a tournament.
Yeah.
For the most part, some of the roles are a bit easier,
Yeah.
especially if you know the person. Like me and Craig didn't try to kill each other,
Yeah.
but other times it's full on.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a really good judge of kind of where you're at, where
Yeah.
your progress is.
I haven't done one yet. I'm thinking about maybe this spring. I'm not gonna make any promises on the air here, but
You'll learn more in a tournament than you will in 2 months coming here.
Yeah.
Basically, I think.
Yeah.
it's crazy how much you can actually get out of a tournament if you're like if you're conscious about how you're going into it. It will show you the holes in your game. It'll show you where you're at, and then it's like, for me, it's got to be at least 3 months of hard training all in one little tournament.
Really?
Yeah, and it's awesome. It's such a good definer of where you're at. And I would say if you're not one of those people that competes,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes harder, but also you just have to look through a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
You just have, and the hardest part is you are coming into the club every single day. Let's say you're training 4 times a week. The other people that you're trying to compare yourself to, if they're coming in 4 times a week, you're all leveling up. Maybe at different rates, but you're all leveling up. So it's hard to go, oh, where am I at compared to that?
Yeah.
Video study of your old roles. Like if you keep one video, I usually like look back at my old roles in competitions and I'm just like, oh, what was I doing there? I'm like, why? Why did I do that? That's dumb. And like, it's learning from that. I know people that like take once a year, and it's usually on like whenever they started jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I only know one person that does this, and he looks at it and he's like, oh, okay, I have progressed in this past year.
Mm-hmm.
He has to just see a rolling session every single, and it's just rolling, like sparring against other people. He's like, okay, I see that I'm moving better here. I see have a better guard retention, and he purposely puts out his A game in that one roll or in that one sparring session.
Yeah.
So you can see where he's at.
I think you could find that with open mats too, right? Going to different clubs. Open mats.
Mats.
You can get a competition feel with open mat.
Yeah. Well, you get different looks. And if you're a blue belt, in the gi, it's easier to tell.
Yeah.
But you look at other blue belts and you roll against them and you're just like, okay, I am a blue belt. I'm about here, right? Well, it's a thing, right? You roll against other people and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm at this level.
Yeah.
Or I'm just getting murked because I went to a comp level gym, like 10th Planet, Calgary.
Yeah.
They're comp level.
Yeah.
So a comp level blue belt is like high level purple belt at a mediocre gym that just kind of is like family friendly kind of thing.
Right.
So
For sure.
Like you get a comp level blue belt coming in and they're murking purple belts. So you're like, well, yeah. Usually because they're younger, they have like this drive. They heal in like 3 hours. Like Jonah comes in, he's like the night before, he's like, oh, my knee, all this. And he comes in the next day, I'm like, how you feeling? He's like, good.
Yeah.
I hate you. Like I come but I remember that.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen anymore. But he's just like, oh yeah, I'm good.
Oh yeah, no.
That sucks.
At our age, it's like once something starts to hurt, it just kind of hurts forever, and then you're like, oh, that's too bad. I don't know.
As far as competitions though go, I definitely you got to do one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine was in town the other day, and we grabbed dinner, and he was talking about we were talking about drugs actually, and I was saying like, man, I can't do drugs anymore, like, I never did. Because like I just like I go down the paranoia like self-analysis hole, and a couple people have told me this as their sort of like philosophy on drugs in the past, where it's like, yeah, but that's where you face your demons, and you're like, you answer some hard questions, or at least ask some hard questions about yourself. And you're like, do I like myself? Or do I think I'm a piece of shit? And if I'm a piece of shit, what do I need to do to change? And that's when you're like, but I feel like a competition is kind of the same mirror, where it's like, I'm going to ask some hard questions about my game here. And like, do I suck at 90% of this, or is there a couple things that I can hold my own?
100%. I think it's such a good identifier of where you're at.
Yeah.
And it's a great enabler for a lot of people if they can take it as a way to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you lose every single match, as long as you have like your ego in check and you're like, yeah, I suck.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back and I'm going to, whether or not I compete again, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do better.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back into the gym. I'm going to train all the shit that I lost to.
Yeah.
Like if I lost, when I was a white belt, I got cranked arm bars and kimuras. After those ones, I just went back and I drilled every escape I knew and everything that I could do to get out. And like I tapped hundreds of times afterwards. I was just like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Drill it. And I still do it here.
Yeah.
Like if I lose to something, I'm like, okay. And then it's harder because you're trying to guide like a blue or a purple belt to that position. And you're just like, okay. And you're like, look at that. You have a head arm now.
Yeah.
And
let me just slip in here.
Yeah. And like, I'm giving stuff and they're like, it's a trap. I'm like, no, I'm trying to work something.
I tried to trap him almost our whole roll and he just wouldn't go for it. He wouldn't take the bait.
Because I just sat still.
Yeah. But I think it's a great thing. Like if you can take that and you have the humility to be like, I'm going to learn from every mistake.
Yeah.
I've found tournaments are just such a good way to show if you've grown. Like when like I say, I've only done a handful of them, and I've gone into some trained really well and had positive outcome.
Yeah.
And then I did one that was terrible. The last one that you guys had that I put in.
Oh,
I put a half-ass effort, and I was just like, I'll just go in and see what happens.
And what was
Right?
your training like?
It was garbage.
No, but I mean, like, what is your, even when it's good, what's your training like?
Oh, I just try to go as hard as I can all the time. Try to focus on strong points and pick up a little bit of improvements on weak points as I go. But yeah, I went into one where I really hadn't trained at all. Just kind of didn't really put the effort in, and went in the first roll, got subbed out right away, rolled against a guy from Gold, and then I thought, I shouldn't have too much trouble with him because I rolled with him a bunch, right? He subbed me right away. Third roll went in. Yeah. So after my first one, I went to the mat, sat down and hung my head, and just literally thought to myself, I guess this is where we quit if we're going to quit.
Oh, shit.
But couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Right? And then the second one, went back and sat down and just hung my head in my hands on the mat. And my wife was there, and she's just like, what's going on? She went up to Carter and was like, you need to go talk to him.
Yeah.
And like, get him going.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Give him some drugs.
Just come steroids.
He came up and tried to talk to me. I was just like, man, don't worry about it, man. I'm good. Just,
it
is what it is.
Yeah.
And so I went out for my third, and same thing, maybe 2-3 minutes, subbed out, tapped out, went and sat, hung my head again, and
man,
had a hard talk with myself.
Yeah.
So another match came up, and I went out and I just fucking put it on him.
Yeah.
And then ended up with the usual head arm.
Yeah.
I put it on as hard as I could, and I got a little tap, and I just gave it a little bit more just because I was feeling like a real dick today, you know?
Yeah, man.
Shit on myself, so
totally.
you too.
Yeah.
It's a douche move.
He's Mountain Mayhem.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shitty thing to do, but I went into it with a real bad mindset.
Yeah.
I learned from that. I learned more from that tournament.
No,
success. Yeah, I learned more from that from winning anything good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Don't do that ever again.
Don't do that. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. See, I'm scared of that. Like honestly, I'm scared of the ego smashing.
That's probably why you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly
totally.
why.
I mean, there's.
Wait, I should do the drugs or the competition?
Both.
Okay. At the same
talking
time,
about steroids.
You mix up the order however you want to do it.
You're talking about like mushrooms or steroids? Because you should do steroids now and then competition.
I mean, I have a blender.
Yeah.
So
mushrooms might be funner.
Yeah.
You're grappling a chair right now. You're not even in the match. What's happening here?
He tapped. Yes,
dude. Look at this butterfly guard.
Just like all wrapped up with a chair. That's awesome.
I imagine that's happened.
Oh, I've rolled against some guys that were on something and they were just like out there. I was like, what is even happening? And it was like, and like in one, I remember I got him in a straight ankle lock and he's like looking at him. He's like, dude, I'm like, are you gonna tap? He's like, yeah, I probably should.
No.
Yeah. And this is like purple belt level. I'm like, what's happening? He's like, yeah, man. I was like, all right, I'm just going to crank it now. I just went hard and then he tapped and then I was like, are you good? And he's like, yeah, man, that was a good match. And then he just went and then we didn't see him. He just like left the tournament. I was like, what is happening?
He's like, have you ever thought about how we're all one?
Yeah, he probably went and talked to some trees.
Yeah,
he was
right on.
It was
awesome.
It was a fun tournament because like there was a group of like 5 or 6 of us.
Yeah.
And then he left, and like the table people were like, "Hey, is this guy here? Is this guy here?" And they're like, "Look around." I was like, "I think that dude went to like touch grass or something."
Yeah. What do you mean by here?
And I was like, and they're like, "So we're just gonna strike them off like all those matches." I was like, "Yeah, probably."
That's awesome.
Crazy.
What about not just in competition, but injuries? I think you've had a couple, right?
I've had ribs twice, shoulder. For whatever reason, every year in January, I somehow managed to just jack my shoulder up one or the other. This year I've been lucky.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened so far.
Yeah.
But I found a lot of physio helps and a lot of stretching.
Yeah. Do you worry about injury in competition, or is it just a kind of another day at the office?
As far as competition goes, like for me, if I'm going to go in there, I'm not worried about injuries.
Yeah.
They might happen,
Yeah.
right? But I always have the opportunity to tap.
Yeah.
So if it does happen,
Yeah.
it's on me.
Yeah.
But going into it, I'm just gonna go in there and try to,
Yeah.
with the exception of that one shit tournament.
Yeah.
I don't think that you can go into a tournament and being like, oh,
Well, you can, but it's gonna reflect
your
performance and
your
your
game
game.
is not
Yeah.
going to be good.
Yeah.
And like pretty much every tournament I've done in.
Well, you've probably done so many where you've rolled with people that you could tell were not confident and not like they weren't ready to
Well,
go.
not only that, but like I've went into almost every tournament injured in some way,
Right.
and every super fight injured in some way. But most people do,
Yeah.
and like even like the one with McInnes, like we both looked at each other, like my knees all wrapped up, his knees are all wrapped up, and we're just like,
It's a race for the knee.
yeah. And we went after legs, and like we both looked at each other like, oh man, this is crazy. But like if you go into it with a mentality of, oh, like
Yeah.
if I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah, yeah.
lose, if I'm gonna get injured, if this,
Yeah.
you're done.
Yeah.
You got to go in like I'm gonna get that sub. I'm
I've
gonna
already
get
won.
that win. I
Yeah.
need to go, and like that's the mentality that you have to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And whether or not if you're nervous, that affects people either way. Like I've never been nervous before any kind of fight,
Oh,
before
really?
any kind of jiu-jitsu match. I
Yeah.
just kind of walk in. Like I'm the dude that watches like Planet Earth before my MMA fights. I was like, it's just another day. You like walk down, it was crazy. You walk down a hallway and it's like hard, like angry music or hard, angry rap or whatever. And then mine, it's like, and then the cheetah crouches low or whatever. And then like the majestic
Singing
Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And like everyone's just like makes a joke of it. I'm just like, I don't get that nerve, but
Yeah.
I still go in with I'm gonna win. I'm gonna
A
take
winner's
this.
mindset.
And like people that are nervous, they're like, I'm so nervous. But they're not saying, oh, I'm so nervous, I'm gonna lose. They're like, I'm just nervous and I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
That's how you can actually tell
Yeah.
how someone's gonna probably do.
I do think like that, just keep coming back to our overarching topic today of like being old people. It's like, man,
I couldn't remember what we were talking about.
or where you were or anything.
Don't worry, I'll take you both back to the home after this.
This
gotta have the
Jared's
iPad right
address
in front of him.
his address and phone number. He keeps it right here.
My name is Jared.
But like you're like, oh man, if I fuck up my leg, then it's like I got the kids, I gotta go to work. I got where it's like you're 20 and you fuck something up. Yeah, just go lay on mom's couch for a month, you know. But not everyone, obviously. But
A lot of seriously young grapplers, they have it. Like they heal. They heal so quick.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you both remember that. Like I remember when I was younger and I was like, oh yeah. I like damn near broke my entire leg. And then it's like
I'm okay.
Next day I'm just
Yeah.
like out doing whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not bad.
Oh yeah, kickboxing. You come home and your shins are bleeding, and next day you're
Yeah.
gonna go. Doesn't matter.
By the way, I've said before I love that shirt.
Yeah, a little shout out to Greg Anderson and the Endless Endeavor podcast down in Washington. This is his.
That's awesome. No one's coming to save you.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's like, speaking of facing reality, like facing your demon. That's it in
Hell
one
yeah,
sentence,
man.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
It's very true, especially these days. No one is.
No one's
Learn how to save yourself. Learn how to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. If you're not prepared, you're good for nothing. Really.
Yeah. Yikes.
It's a work in progress, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna do some push-ups or something.
We're in Canada. We're all right for now, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, Russia's pretty close.
We're fucked either
Those
way.
guys are doing like backflip tomahawk throws.
Yeah. Well, we have kitty litter in the school, so I think that's about the same.
Man. Let's see what else we got here.
Talking about furries.
I think that we were going to talk about aliens.
Throw a little something in here if that's all right.
Yeah. Is it? It's not kitty litter, is it?
Is it?
Well, it
aliens?
sounds a bit like kitty litter.
Nice.
No, I think on your first or second podcast, you guys were talking about, Travis was describing your jiu-jitsu games and that, and kind of like a puzzle.
Oh,
So I got a couple gifts here for you. So, Trav, this is a puzzle that I think reflects your game. Don't worry about the nice pink
garbage?
thing. But this
Well,
is
I'm
a clear,
colorblind, so I don't have to
clear-
really see.
clear, impossible puzzle.
Oh my God.
You know, I'm
I
just
can't
gonna
figure
sit
out
here.
your game.
Yeah, I'm
That's
just
like,
gonna sit here. And
To
do
me,
it.
that's what it represents. Like impossible. Impossible to figure out.
It's always changing.
Yeah. And
Is
so,
mine
Emmett, I
like-
have one that I think reflects your game
Fit the fire truck into the.
somewhat adequately
Okay.
as
All
compared
right.
to Travis's impossible puzzle.
Should I open this up?
Yeah, you can open on this end.
I can't even figure out how to open the box. So that should tell you
Part of
everything.
the puzzle.
This is gonna be one piece. I hope it.
Okay, I better get you to open this, man, because like I don't know, I'm just too dumb. Okay. There we go. That's about it. I think there's too many pieces in there.
We're gonna have to describe this time.
That's like
This triangle won't fit in this circle, no matter how hard I push it.
It's gonna smash and like square.
That's so awesome. Yeah, and there literally is like take these two away. Oh, actually, we should take the triangle away because I'm not good at those. We'll keep like these two, and then that's my game. That's scary accurate. Now you're making me face reality through puzzles, man. It's a hard night.
You don't have to do a competition anymore. Apparently, we have a
gonna do one
jiu-jitsu
soon.
move. Yeah, apparently we have a jiu-jitsu move called the square and the oval for Emmett.
Yeah.
He's like, these two are good. These two are good. I can do these two.
Do the-
I don't know. What do those represent to you? What does the square represent to you, Emmett?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot here. I don't know, man. They all just look like smash.
You're gonna Homer Simpson that thing and just and then fall asleep on it.
It's like you're gonna come in here tomorrow morning, and I'm still gonna be trying to figure it out. Just like, fuck, I almost got it, man.
I'm gonna have phone calls from your wife being like, "Hey, this is Emmett's wife.
Like-
Where is he? I think he's doing a puzzle right now.
Oh,
The circle is not a oval."
Emmett, you gotta take it out of the plastic first, dude. Scary accurate. Thank you, man. Scary accurate.
Welcome.
I like it. I'm gonna keep it right there. It's gonna be a puzzle piece for the rest of the show.
Yours kind of looks like a bag of meth, I gotta say. From the show, what's it called? Breaking Bad. That's
Nice.
I not mess around with meth. It's not what my buddy was talking about.
I like how the shows went from drugs to like hard drinks
Awesome. I love that.
and hard puzzles.
Hard puzzles. Really hard.
I didn't want to open it because I didn't think I'd be able to put it back together.
Yeah. I should get that on a shirt, like as my game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Without the
Um,
triangle.
Yes. Oh yeah, with it, take the triangle out. My legs just aren't long enough.
We'll
I
just
know
throw
that's
that
not even
piece
an
in the
excuse.
It was Kobe that thing.
Oh
My kids
man.
laughed at it.
Did you show them a picture of me too? And they're like, yeah, that fits, dude.
Yeah, that fits.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I do want to tease the fact that I think we're gonna do a scrap story today, are we?
I could throw something out there, I guess.
Yeah. Do we want to jump into that?
Yeah, let's jump into the scrap story,
let's jump into it.
and then
okay.
and then we got one more story that I want to hear, and it's about aliens. But yeah, let's go scrap story first.
Okay, let's do it.
I was trying
Let's
to
do
think of scrap stories, and some of the ones I have are that are probably not the best stories to tell, but I could probably tell about one of the tough man competitions I did.
Yeah.
It's basically a scrap. It's
Yeah.
dirty
Yeah.
boxing.
I'd love to hear that.
One of the ones we had in the valley where I live, up in Golden. This is, man, a long time ago. I think it was. Can't even remember how long ago it was actually. But so you fight.
That's old
You
age.
fight 3 2-minute rounds, and it's boxing, but it's like kind of anything goes.
3
dirty
2-minute
boxing.
rounds. Okay.
Yeah.
And so are we talking 10 years ago, 5 years ago,
Oh, 15 at least.
15 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe 20.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So you fight 3 times if you're successful, right?
3 different people.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So first match I had, and I had fought once before. So this is my second tough man competition. And first fight I had was someone from Banff. Actually, it was kind of weird. I remember he was from Banff, and he came in and just went to town, like just
Oh no.
just punching as fast as he possibly could, just going. And I just kind of put up my defense,
yeah.
moved around, popped a couple times.
Do you have any style at all, or he's just kind of flailing?
fury.
Oh,
All out
fury.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. He knew how to box, but he was going for it right away, right? 2-minute round, you got to work.
Yeah.
So Craig style.
Or,
Yeah.
or you just kind of hang back and wait for him to tire himself out. So we
Right.
went one round, and he did that. Then the second round, kind of the same, but he started to peter out.
Okay.
And then the third round went a little bit, and then he started to slow down. Then I just blew him away.
Nice.
I think 3-4 punches, and he
You
was
use
done.
that strategy in jiu-jitsu a lot too. I've seen you do that to me.
Yeah. I guess
All right,
it's pretty
Emmett.
obvious.
All right, Emmett, we're going 30 seconds. Emmett tires out, and then
Yeah.
Jared
Yeah.
jumps on it.
Yeah, so that was the first fight of the night. And so I get out of the ring and start walking by, and I got booed, and people were just giving me a hard time because they were like, "We came here to fight. We see some
Right,
fights,
right,
man.
right,
What are you
right.
doing?" Like, well, I fought. You know?
Yeah.
He's an idiot. And I knew how to win. And then second one was this big bastard that I trained with a lot, but he was trying to be a cop. Well, he's going to become a cop.
Yeah.
And it was a good fight, but the problem was that the fight production, the promotion had really shitty gloves.
Oh
really old,
no.
shitty gloves.
Like packed out gloves.
Oh yeah. So we were going a little bit, trading back and forth, and then I just smoked him right in the side of the head. And all it was all knuckles, right below his temple.
Oh,
And he just, that was it. He was done.
damn.
Yeah. I
Dude.
felt pretty bad, but it did the trick
You felt bad?
a little bit. He was going to be a cop too. So no offense, Kelsey.
I mean,
You know?
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
Kind
It
of
felt good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they're
bet.
kind of the funnest to go against. I'll go on record. Like Kelsey, Danielle's like a peace officer. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna crank that ankle. Like not hard. I'm pretty
Yeah.
good about, but I'm like, I remember getting a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So in the meantime, like I fought 2 fights, and a guy in the same weight class was also fighting 2 fights. So
Okay.
he had 2 really good fights. And as we're going, right, then we're done. Our fight's waiting for our third fight, and the promoter had paid for this heavyweight to come in from Vancouver. He was supposed to be really good, and then this other guy I think it was from Trail Boxing Club. And he's in the change room warming up and just like looked like a stud, just like him hitting the bag, like hitting the mitts and shit was just like, that's
Yeah.
something, right? He crisp and really, really good.
And so you're looking at the prospect of fighting that guy?
No.
Oh,
So he
okay,
these,
okay.
so she paid to bring 2 fighters in for like the main event.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how it worked out, but she ended up doing the main event before the end.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys turned out to be just turds, right? It was just
Really?
just terrible. And I think she must have paid at least a couple grand for each of them.
Oh
right?
no.
Like for winning, I think I won like $750. I guess I blew the story. But yeah, she
You
paid big
won?
money to bring these guys in, right? And so they ended up just being a letdown. And me and the other fella on the other side of the bracket from me, I guess he performed pretty well too. So she kind of just decided that she was going to put us as the main event.
Oh wow.
So there's, I don't know, maybe like, I want to say 1,000 people in there,
Yeah.
sort of thing. It's in a gymnasium. It's pretty rinky dink or whatever, but it was pretty cool. And we started out the first round and just blow for blow, just like fucking going to town. Like he is bigger than me, stronger than me.
Is this kicks and punches?
No,
or
it's just punches.
just punches?
Dirty,
Okay.
you know, sneaking an elbow or
Yeah.
backhand when you shouldn't. a little bit of a
Spinning
knee when you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
I got in shit for a knee. I threw in one of them, but nobody else really seen it.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, we made it through first round. Then the second round, I'd never seen stars before, but he caught me with something.
Oh.
Literally everything just went out, and there's just like stars kind of in circles.
Whoa.
And I managed to get a hold of him
Yeah.
and just grab on, give a couple to the body, whatever, but just basically hold on and
Yeah.
try to survive, clear my head.
Yeah.
So I cleared my head, and then we went into the third round. And I was tired. He was tired.
Yeah.
And we just like sort of step in, give a few, kind of come out, get a few, and going over and over. And it seemed like it took like 10 minutes, but it's only 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And so we tried to kill each other the whole time. And the ref should have stopped it. The ref should have stopped it at about halfway through the last round, but he kept it, let him keep going. And I could tell that he was starting to, he wasn't really there anymore.
Oh, man.
But he was happy to come in and eat punches. So the bell rings at the end, and we go up and tried to shake hands with each other, and his eyes literally, one eye's looking at me, and the other eye was like off.
God.
Yeah, he was basically fucked.
Oh
Like
man.
no long-term effects or anything like that, but it was something to see that, right? Like we just beat the shit out of each other and
went to a decision.
no, I won.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow, that's heavy, man.
Yeah, it was good. Main event, everybody's just cheering. It was pretty sweet.
That's a cool feeling.
Yeah, it was really good.
That's heavy, man. That's gnarly. That's like, yeah.
Tough man competitions are no joke. Like you get some people don't know what the hell they're doing, but you get some people that can actually throw.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I was at one.
And packed out gloves suck.
Oh yeah, the one I went to, this guy jumped in because one of the fighters dropped out, so this dude was in the crowd, and he's just a maniac. He was just pissed. It's old enough now I can say it.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'll fight.
Yeah.
So she needed a fighter, so she put him in. He cut off his jeans and jean shorts.
Nice.
Went to town. Yeah.
That
it was good. He ended up tiring out the guy that I was going to fight for the end. So he was a little bit pooped by the time I ran into him, which was great.
Dude, I've always wanted to do that. Just jump in. Yeah. Like I had a moment up in Lloyd where I was there, like we were at this amateur MMA event.
Yeah.
This guy dropped out and like his opponent was talking about it in front of us. I was like, you're about my weight. I'd jump in. And I had like almost nothing other than like I think I could wing a bomb and watching Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
I would have just got worked over, but I was like, I think I could. Dumb confidence. But,
wow. Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, no, go ahead, man.
No, they're just those tough man competitions are fun.
Yeah,
I made it to 7-0. I really hope to get to 10-0, but I just couldn't pull another one together.
That's
wild.
Out to
line one up. So.
That's crazy, man. And so, I guess it was 15, 20 years ago. Probably the answer is no, but is there video of that anywhere?
I think I have one video at home of the one after that.
Oh,
so the guy had video of that, and it was great. He was right through the ropes and everything.
Yeah.
And then somehow someone lost it.
Yeah. That's what happens back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like the moon landing. Just gone.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
I think it's still there. It's pretty good. I can't figure out how they got that car in that little spaceship.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Moon landing's totally real.
I think it must have been.
Emmett's like, God damn it.
I got no dog in that fight, man. I don't fucking care about the moon landing. I'm like,
that's a good way to be.
Trying to get through the day, man. You know.
Speaking of moon landings, let's talk about this damn alien story that you teased us a few weeks ago. I mean, most of the jiu-jitsu people are like, "Oh, okay, we're in."
Yeah, they're like, "This is what I came for." Yeah,
I'm gonna put this on like a clip, so I'm like, "Look at this awesome story." It better be awesome. If it's not awesome, I'm just gonna choke you out.
Well, you gotta have one of these shows. Got to be a dud eventually. I think this is probably the one.
That's why we were changing the name to the Emmett Podcast.
Yeah, Emmett sucks. So this is back when I was 17, and
this is before the moon landing. Okay,
yeah, well, it might have something to do with it. I'm not really sure. So I'm 17 and hanging out at my buddy's house, just hanging out. It's in the evening, you know. I don't know, whatever 17-year-olds do, smoke dope, drink beer. And he's leaning out his window. He's got like a window in the end of his bedroom or whatever, and he's just leaning out having a smoke. And I'm sitting inside listening to music, whatever we're doing. And
Pink Floyd?
Probably something like that. Probably more like Nine Inch Nails or Primus, just cranked. And he's leaning out, and all of a sudden he's like, Jared. He's like, Jared, come here. Come here, check this out. I was like, yeah, okay. So I go out there and I'm looking. I was like, well, like what? Yeah. And he's like, look right over there. Just look right over there. So I look outside, and we're in the Columbia Valley. So it's probably where we were, where he lived. It's probably about 2 kilometers wide at the base. And then it's Purcell's on one side, Rockies on the other.
Okay.
Right. And they just go down the valley. So about what would be the equivalent of like 15 kilometers away. Because there's like a little community. Fairmont is just down from where he lived. And on the side of the mountain, there's just this red light.
Yeah. And
it's kind of looks like it's on the mountainside at the time, but it's moving. And so then this light is in a distance, and it kind of starts moving around in just kind of random patterns.
Yeah.
Not really doing anything special or
It's
like something.
about 15 kilometers away.
Yeah, so I know where he lived,
Yeah.
and then I know how far away
Okay.
the little community is, and so it was like kind of up the mountain from where the
Okay.
community is. So yeah, this red light, and it's it's a long ways away, so it's a small light,
Yeah.
but it's not super tiny.
Okay.
And so with watching it just move around random down there, all of a sudden it's kind of comes down the valley towards us.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to say within, I don't know, a few seconds,
Yeah.
it's probably within 100 feet
Yeah.
of where we are.
And does it grow in size?
So it's weird.
Yeah.
It grew in size, but not like I was trying to think of this after we talked about it. I'm trying to think of like a relative size. And I'm going to say it would probably be about
it went from like
6 to 8 feet.
1 centimeter to 8 inches, right?
Yeah, 8 inches. That's right. We measure things a little differently. 8 inches, I guess. Nice try. So I've been thinking about it a lot, and I would say it's probably the closest I could come to would be about 6 to 8 feet.
Oh, okay.
And it's just
Okay.
a red circle, like a red light.
Yeah.
There's nothing coming out of it.
Yeah.
No, it's not changing shape. It's not a disc. It's just like an orb.
Okay.
And drones aren't a thing.
No drones.
Yeah.
Like
Not
this
way back then.
Yeah.
They're like the horses were just finished pulling the carriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
but there's no sound.
it's perfectly
There's
round.
Yeah.
Perfectly round.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Doesn't make a sound.
Yeah.
Doesn't disturb the trees. Like, so where we are, so about 100 feet away, there's big stands of fir trees, right?
Yeah.
So it's behind the trees. It's kind of moving back this way,
Yeah.
and then it's kind of moving away and then back,
Yeah.
and then it's just on the tip of the trees. And it's weird because where it is relative to distance isn't
Yeah.
really changing, but it felt
Right.
like it's changing. It felt like it's coming really close to us
Yeah.
and then moving back. But I don't think that it came through the trees. It was almost more of a feeling than seeing it.
Whoa.
Yeah. I've tried to think about it a lot lately.
Yeah. And you're both seeing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there basically stunned and like, are you seeing this? Like,
Yeah.
is this for real?
And how long is that lasting? 5 minutes?
I would say probably the time from when we first seen it to now
Yeah.
could be anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's really hard to tell.
Hard
That's-
to tell.
Actually, still a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like usually when you like see weird shit, it's like a couple seconds.
Yeah.
And you're like,
So-
that was
And it's-
weird.
yeah.
Because it was so long ago, I've definitely lost some of the detail, but a lot of it's still really fresh. And so then it's spending this time, let's say like 100 feet away.
And so
basically
wait, so
moving around.
it's light, right? Like you can't
So it's-
see a surface.
It's light,
or
but it's not
anything.
like glowing red. Like the whole forest isn't red. And
Right.
It's not lit up red,
Right.
but it's a red orb. Like it's
Okay.
lit up, it's light.
Okay.
And so then it's moving around. Let's say it goes maybe half a kilometer and kind of is moving random.
Yeah.
Coming back a little bit closer one time. And then it moves from there and it probably goes, let's say, the equivalent of 3 kilometers.
Yeah.
And so it's 3 kilometers and it's kind of dipping down below the trees because the forest goes out so you can see it. And then it kind of dips in the trees and comes up.
Okay.
And it's just moving around. And the whole time it's weird because it's feeling like it's kind of coming closer
Yeah.
and farther away.
Yeah.
Not at the same time, but it's really hard to identify like
Yeah.
where it's at.
Yeah.
And so then let's say it does that for another 30 seconds or so.
Yeah.
And then it heads back down the valley. But as it's traveling, there isn't like a discernible acceleration. There
Okay.
isn't a discernible like movement. Like let's say it goes this way across the horizon, like where you
Yeah.
can see, okay, here, and now it's gone. It
Yeah.
almost moves away.
Yeah.
And so it's shrinking in size a little bit because it's getting
Okay.
farther away.
Okay.
But it's really hard to tell how
Okay.
far away it is. And so I'd say it gets almost back to the original distance away,
Yeah.
and then it just basically goes gone.
Yeah.
And like you can see it for a little bit, and then it's just
yeah.
it disappears. It's gone. Like how in a balloon,
Yeah,
eventually
yeah.
you can't see the balloon; it's just too small.
Sure.
It was like that, but it was not instant.
Yeah.
Like there was no acceleration. It was just here, and then all of a sudden it was just
Yeah. So have you ever like since that happened, have you ever like Googled it and said like, has anyone else seen this kind of thing?
so. asked people, and I've never heard anyone have any similar story.
Yeah.
And online, I haven't been able to find anything. But what kind of brought it up for me was maybe 3 months ago. I think I was listening to a podcast. I think it was maybe a Sean Ryan podcast.
Okay.
And this fella down in Texas, he's approximately the same age as me.
Okay.
And he's explaining this phenomenon that happened to him about when he was 18, I think, when he was younger.
No way.
And he describes basically the exact same experience that
in
I
Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
I can't remember if he was in Texas when he experienced it, but they were in Texas at the time.
Yeah.
But he is from the States, and I believe he was somewhere down south when he seen it.
Damn.
But he explained it like as close to
Yeah.
what happened to me as could be.
You didn't get in touch or anything though, hey?
No, they're
Yeah.
they're like big names.
Still, I mean, that guy would probably be stoked to hear that someone else.
I probably should.
Yeah.
But yeah,
shoot him a
I
message.
kind of forgot about it until that podcast. I was listening to it, and then he starts explaining it, and I was like, fuck, no way. And I kind of did the timeline a little bit, and I was off by about 5 years when the first time I explained it to you, just judging on my age, like where I would have been at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked out to about 17.
Wow. Did he have any theories about what it was? No. Because what are you going
unexplainable?
Yeah. Wow.
Alien.
UFO.
Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever it is, it's UFO.
UFO. Yeah, UFO.
Change whatever you want. It's
UFOs.
What's the new abbreviation?
UAP.
UAP.
Unidentified aerial phenomena. UAP.
Oh, okay.
UAP.
Isn't UAP a Cardi B song?
Oh, yeah.
WAP.
Me and my friend were there. We saw WAP.
It was awesome.
All over the place. Okay. Yep.
That's
I love that our Jiu-Jitsu podcast is covering UFOs today. That's fucking awesome.
I mean, I don't think that we could, I wasn't going to let him stand up without telling that story. I would have beat the shit out of him over there and be like, tell us this story. You gave Emmett an awesome puzzle. Now tell us this story.
Yeah. No,
But
that's wild.
And honestly, any future guests, you got to one up this guy. Just saying, that just has to be like any weird ass phenomena. Let's go after.
We're black and blue. We're blowing it wide open.
Yeah.
if anyone's had any similar experience, man. Glad to hear it.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts about the topic at hand of being a very slightly older grappler? Any kind of closing thoughts about that? One thing I actually wanted to ask you about before we close things out is having kids. Do you think about like passing on jiu-jitsu to them? Does your journey, like for me, I'm like, man, I want to get good at jiu-jitsu to the point where my kids can legit like learn it from me. And, I'm at a black belt level, brown belt level, whatever, where I'm bringing them along with me. I don't know. Thoughts about that?
Yeah. So I have an older son who's 19. He's in college. He doesn't live with me.
Yeah.
But I have a 7-year-old boy and a 5-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And they both come to every class.
Nice.
And
that's amazing.
yeah, my boy's picking it up pretty good. He really likes it. But my daughter's just a savage.
Yeah.
Nice. I remember at in your garage at your openings thing, and then we did the garage. She was like, she was almost doing like flying armbar kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, you're a maniac. Like it was
sick.
awesome.
I have trash blue belt jiu-jitsu, and that's what they're learning.
Yeah.
So we might not have a complete game there, but you're going to know that you had to fight with a Mountain Mayhem kid.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna know you were in a fight. Yeah.
But as you keep growing, I think that's the cool thing about starting as an older guy, where it's like, I might never, I definitely won't ever be some kind of world champion or anything like that. But I'm able to start in a sport that I can legitimately get pretty decent at and pass it on to my kids. And it's a method of self-defense. And I think that's like, that gives you a whole other set of goals as an older person,
Absolutely. That's one of my, I'd say that's one of my biggest goals, is to be able to continue on with it and to advance in it myself.
Yeah.
But also be able to pass it on.
Yeah.
And to my kids for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to make it like a mandatory thing
Yeah.
for life. You know? But as they get a bit older and they need to have knowledge of self-defense.
Yeah.
And for whatever it means, like especially my daughter.
Yeah.
I just feel that that's really important.
Yeah.
You know, I shouldn't say that actually. I think it's equally important for both of them.
Oh,
But
totally,
for me
yeah.
personally, just the thought of my little girl being able to defend herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some dickheads out there.
Yeah. There's some.
So that means a lot to me. Yeah, that's a super important part of this.
Yeah.
And one of the big reasons that I started that, just to give it to kids in the community that don't have it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And I find it, it really pushes me to improve and be everything I can be in order to pass it on.
And what you were saying about getting nervous about before every class, that's, you want to make sure you're passing on the best knowledge you possibly can. So
Absolutely.
Any other closing thoughts about being a super old grappler?
Sitting next to another super old grappler.
We're like,
and like the most crippled, not that young grappler.
Yeah, Mr. Burns of the group.
No, bring it on. Come and roll with me.
Yeah.
Turn it up.
Yeah. Well, man, thanks for being on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure, man.
Awesome to have you. I'm so stoked that we blew it wide open here, and we're gonna open it up to topics.
Aliens, Bigfoot, and moon landing.
Yeah,
dude,
really hard puzzles.
And it's
I'll help you.
I don't got a scrap story, but I got a Bigfoot story.
I actually do have a couple scrap stories, which we can get into one day.
Sweet.
I have a couple good ones.
Can't wait to hear them.
Dude, I'm into Bigfoot. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I'm a believer.
Dude, I'm into Bigfoot, man.
Hell yeah, let's do it. I will go down some damn rabbit holes. We'll do like a little bonus episode.
Yeah.
And I will go down so like my brain goes like I watched the Les Stroud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Les Stroud going after Bigfoot, and I watched Joe Rogan going after Bigfoot. I just into that. I love it. My wife's like, this is so stupid. If they would have found Bigfoot, we would know. I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna watch every episode.
Hell yeah.
I had distant family, like my uncle's wife's father was in Rocky Mountain House, and he had hair that wasn't from anything else they could figure out. He had plaster prints, and he had tons of cool shit from
dude. My grandpa, like I call him Papa, but like he had some stories, and I was like, damn, this is awesome.
Yeah,
so
dude.
We'll go.
There's so much to it, man. That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole other
We'll do a little bonus.
Interdimensional beings that is Sasquatch.
Next time we have Jared, we won't do a jiu-jitsu one. We'll just do a weird shit one.
Dude, let's do it.
And we'll just have it as a bonus episode.
No drugs though, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. He was talking about like
it just smells good. Like drugs, but it smells good.
There's this book. So the guy that wrote, first of all, the book of World War Z, that movie that came out, it's based on a book, and it's like the best book. It's so awesome. The movie sucked, but the book is really fucking cool. But he wrote that, and I think he's Mel Brooks' son too.
Dude, Mel Brooks is the legend.
Yeah. So did you guys hear that?
Yeah. But it's a Sam Squanch.
But he wrote another novel called Devolution, and it's about like this high-end, like high-tech community that gets built like way off in the wilderness, and then there's like a volcanic eruption, and they have to defend themselves against Sasquatches. It's fucking awesome, man. It's so good. Yeah. And ever since that, I'm like, dude, I'm all about Sasquatch. I'm all about it, man.
He's like moon landing. UFOs. Sasquatch. Yes, I'm in.
I guess I should have had a rash guard because Mountain Mayhem is a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Double-bladed axe.
Nice. Yeah.
With the gold tooth
Sick,
and everything.
dude. That's awesome. Oh man, I should show you. Did I show you that? The Sasquatch Shaka?
No.
Oh yeah, I designed a shirt with a Sasquatch Shaka hand. I'll show it to you, man. It's awesome.
Sweet.
Withholding
information.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, anyways, again, man, thanks for being here. We've been super excited about this one. So
awesome.
Yeah, great to have you and great to roll with you tonight. Yeah.
Man, we were smacking those mics all night tonight.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's the drugs. It's the drugs.
Hard at the end here.
I'm gonna say sorry about that, but also I don't know what our next episode is about. Do we have an idea?
we got a couple to choose
All right.
from. Let's keep it a mystery for now.
It's gonna be a mystery, but yeah, we'll be live again next week and coming at you with the Black and Blue podcast. If you haven't yet, make sure that you like and subscribe. Every subscription grows the channel a little bit more. It brings out the channel to other people that might actually want to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's all about like having a black belt perspective, a guest with alien stories perspective, and a blue belt perspective, just to give people all these other ideas about jiu-jitsu and understanding this sport that we love so much.
Yeah.
So if we can get a like and subscribe from you, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And other than that,
Catch you on the flip side. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jared.